Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant. Welcome to a less depressed version of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time we made our way to Lavender Town, and this time we're going to be heading through Rock Tunnel to make our way up towards Cerulean City and the power plant. I almost called it the pallet plant. But if we head over here before we even get to the Rock Tunnel, we get TM69 Rock Polish. Now this TM actually increases your speed 2 stages when you use it. It's mainly for rock types and steel types, but I want to say there are other kinds of Pokemon that can learn it as well. It's not one I use very often, but if you have somebody that's very slow and very powerful, it can be very helpful. Also, trainer battles! How did you know? Annoying Quagsires are annoying. He used Yawn, which is a move that puts your Pokemon to sleep after a turn. The only way to get out of that sleep is if you remove your Pokemon from the battle, so switch out or you're going to be sleeping. What are you laughing about? Speaking of Yawn, this guy's Machamp had Wake Up Slap, which does twice as much damage if it wakes you up. Now, Rock Tunnel, in here! You need Flash to be able to see, and although nobody's complained about it because I knew my way around for a lot of other places, I feel compelled? Why did I say impelled? Crunch, why did I say impelled? I feel compelled to bring somebody along with Flash so you can see what the hell is going on, so I will return with Sleepy. Sure, why not? I love you so much, Crunch. Aw, how adorable. Let's head into Rock Tunnel! And see what— that's a Cubone or a Marowak, I can't tell because it's too tiny. But now that we have Sleepy, who knows Flash, we can use it and see better! Not all that much better. Well, that's significantly helpful, I guess. Now, there isn't too much for us to find here in the way of wild encounters, except you're going to be running into a lot of Cubone and Marowak. I'm going to hold off on putting up a repel because there's one new Pokemon I want to find on the basement floor. And in order for me to be able to do that, I can't have a repel up for obvious reasons. So if I could potentially get to the ladder before we get into another encounter, we'll see if I'm able to run into it down here. There are a couple of rock smashable rocks. I don't think there's anything interesting in any of them. And also take note of the jagged rocks down here as well that we will potentially be able to climb very, very late into the game, but not quite yet. I also want to say there's an item in here or something, but apparently there isn't. So if we head behind these rocks, when you first get here, you tend to overlook this section because you don't think you can walk behind these rocks, but you can. And there's the 5% find in the basement floor. Kangaskhan, normal type, and it has its baby in its pouch. It's so adorable, let's kill it. There's also speculation as to whether or not the baby— I don't know, I saw a very interesting image, I forget where it was from, that potentially, and this is borderline graphic, but if you think about us knocking out the Kangaskhan, the adult Kangaskhan there, the baby doesn't have a parent anymore. And if you also think about running around down here are a bunch of Cubones. And Cubones are known for wearing the skulls of their deceased parents. So, you have to wonder, could the Cubones potentially be orphaned Kangaskhan babies? I'll see if I can find the image, because it's really striking how similar they are. But I don't remember where I saw the image. Maybe somebody tweeted it or something. I just thought it was really interesting to think about. Because that would potentially gray the line between Pokemon species as well. Like, we call them entirely different things, but like Magnemite and Magneton is just 3 Magnemites, and Dugtrio is like 3 Digletts, and I keep thinking I'm playing Black and White 2, where I don't have to constantly go back into my bag to put up another repel. Probably the biggest and most underrated change with Black and White 2, for those of you that haven't had the opportunity to play it yet, I think there's an item down there too, I'm gonna get it. if you put up a repel and your repel runs out, as long as you have another repel in your bag, it'll prompt you as to whether or not you want to put up another repel. So where it would normally say your repel has run out and you have to go all the way back into your bag to put another one up, in Black and White 2, you don't have to go back into your bag. It just asks you whether or not you want to put up another repel. I cannot tell you how helpful that is, especially when you're grinding for shards, but I digress. We've made it outside the rock tunnel, and there's a Pokémon Center here. Very rare to see one of these outside of a city. But I welcome it because I don't think I took any damage. Yeah, it is mighty convenient. I wish more places did that. But the power plant is just south from here, actually. And as long as we don't need Sleepy anymore, we might as well just pick up Duster again. But now that I've had the opportunity to play through a little bit more of Black and White 2, and more on that if I get to a rant about it in this episode, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Or, why did I say tomorrow? I'm putting these up Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But the power plant is right south down there. The one thing I want to say about Black and White 2, now that I've had an opportunity to play it in English, there are a lot more features to it that I didn't really appreciate before. Case in point, like Join Avenue. I mean, there are a lot of things, if you're playing with a language barrier, that you can't necessarily tell just what's inside one of these special areas. And like Join Avenue, you could just run through it, and if you see the Japanese text, you have no idea what's going on, you don't think there's anything special about it. And I mean, not like it's that much of a special thing to take note of, but still, it's just one of those little things that they didn't necessarily have to put in, but they did, and it's kind of neat. But down here is the power plant. And this is the thing that's causing all of Kanto's troubles, because there are certain things that are not running with electricity that we need, like the radio tower. So it's up to us to figure out what's wrong. And it's this guy all the way over here, the fat guy, the manager, who lost a part. Apparently somebody stole a part. I didn't know people could use Charge Beam. That's interesting. So we have to get the part back for the power plant. I don't know if I've ever reached that. Well, maybe sometimes. No, electricity is not infinite. You conserve whenever possible. Watch out for each other. Idle hands are not allowed. Souls with rubber shoes, because they don't conduct electricity, and... Gee, I wonder who put that sign up. No, I don't have a Dugtrio. I will not trade it for your Magneton, because I had one of my own. He is better now, because he's a Magnezone. Or she. I never really stressed this point. But Krako has no gender. There are apparently Pokemon like that, although you would figure with some of them that they shouldn't have, and others should have a specific one that they don't. I also realized everybody on this team, with the exception of Krako, who is genderless, is a male! The funny thing about that is, when I first played through Heart Gold, I had the exact opposite. Everybody on the team, without exception, was female. Kind of funny how that works. A shady character around Cerulean City. Well, it's nice for you to say that in front of us so we could actually do something about it, because none of these NPCs are allowed to move. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Also, we could find over here a specific Pokemon that I'd actually like to show off before we end the episode. And we ran into it on the first try, Electabuzz! I'm not sure if we've had a chance to run into one before, but this thing gained a new evolution in the 4th generation, in addition to getting a baby form in this generation. And I want to say to evolve Electabuzz, you have to face the other way, Crunch, there you go. In order to evolve Electabuzz, you had to trade it with a specific hold item, which I don't think we have yet, but we may wind up picking up at some point. And from here, just to get an idea of where we are on the map, We made it all the way through Lavender Town, up to Route 9, heading over to Cerulean City, which we could have just as easily walked to from Saffron, but I took the scenic route because I feel like taking the scenic route sometimes. What of it? Not that I recall. You know, it just hit me that we're probably going to be using Crunch a significant portion. Yeah, you know what, keep him out. I don't know why I'm questioning myself. I love you too much, Crunch. In fact, I love you so much, I'm jumping down here so we fight a hiker who more than likely has rock or ground types. You like beating those up, right? Sure you do. I'm getting ahead of myself, thinking that the next gym is going to be the rock-type gym. How silly of me to think that way! I don't know why, I just want to get some screen time with Crunch in. It seems like we ignore him more often than we don't. Guess who's level 50 now? When Crunch leveled up, he was actually prompted to learn Thrash, which is a decently powerful normal-type move, 90 base power, 100 base accuracy, that attacks for 2 to 3 consecutive turns, after which the Pokemon who used it is left confused. So it's like a less powerful version of Outrage. You know, I'm not actually sure. It's kind of in both, but I think it's technically in Johto. We'll get to that in post-game. Guess who exploded and killed Lupus on the first turn? I'll run over to Cerulean and heal up real quick. Felt like I was playing Metal Gear just to get back here without triggering any of these fights along the way. Holy crap. So there's a cut tree over here. That'll lead to the light clay. I'll probably pick it up off screen. Picking up Leaky and having him cut down the tree to get that item. What the light clay does... I already fought you. No wonder why you didn't trigger a fight with me. What the light clay does, if your Pokemon uses Reflect or Light Screen, the light clay will extend how long Reflect or Light Screen stays up for 8 turns instead of 5. I don't mean extend it for 8 turns, I mean extend it by 3 turns so it normally lasts 8 turns instead of 5, like it usually would. And last but not least, up here is some grass that doesn't have anything of particular importance for us to find. I want to say you have cool Pokemon to show off, though. Guess who was wrong again? But at least we finally made our way to Cerulean City, which we could have just as easily walked... You know what? I'll show you just how much easier this trip could have been. Down to the south is... Where's the route transition? There it is. Route 5! And right down there is Saffron City. But if we head into this house, talk to this old lady, she'll give us a cleanse tag. If one of our Pokemon holds this, it's somewhat less likely that we'll run into wild battles, but after trying the flute that was supposed to lower the encounter rate alongside with the lullaby on the radio station, I don't know just how much help that is, but down here is the gate to Saffron City, the north gate that we could have just as easily walked north to. Yes, I just came from there 2 seconds ago. I haven't been there yet. You talk a lot. Please stop talking. Yes, very much so. Mom, stop buying me things. And just like on the opposite side where Vermilion City is, the underground path is closed, except now we have a reason why, although the power plant doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the underground path. Maybe they just couldn't light the place with the power plant down. It seems like some things are powered by the power plant, other things aren't. But regardless, I think we've explored enough for today. The recording's past 30 minutes, so I'm not sure just how much of it has actually been in the video and how much of it has been cut, but this is UniversalGiant. And next time, we'll explore around Cerulean City, hopefully put an end to whatever is ailing the power plant, and potentially head up towards Cerulean Cave. See you then.